Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the one and hopefully only Byzantian Brews podcast. It's like McCoy's, except no imitations. Your hosts, Chaotic and Byzantian Dev, are back for another week. Let's get right into the show, right into our scheduled programming, because, man, I love this show.
It's good, because you're on it.
Yeah, personal bias. I like the show because I bought it.
So what have we been up to?
So, I have been doing some artwork lately for Pokemon Infinite Fusion. I've been designing some of my own fusion concept arts, which has been a lot of fun. A few of them have been implemented as sprites, which is pretty damn cool. And it's just been fun to draw. Honestly, just drawing these like concepts has just been a lot of fun. I'm particularly fond of my my Wooper Abra. It's just a little guy, you know, just a little guy.
Woobra.
Woobra.
Yeah.
Yeah, just little guys, and it's gotten me back into doing art, which is like, yay! I've actually picked up a pen for the first time in a good while. What have you been up to?
That sounds promising.
What about yourself? What have you been doing this week?
I've been up to, well, it was obviously Thursday, a chill one. That's fine. But nice. A shame the bloody game didn't load for like 3 hours. But
yeah.
Never mind.
I think, as it turns out, a lot of the reason why it was like 58 gig is because that at the place we hang out, that's an Xbox Series X or something, so it was downloading all the like super 4K graphical stuff.
God's sake.
Yeah, it was the high fidelity upgrade, basically. That's why it was like a massive thing. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. Because when I installed it on my home Xbox, which is a regular Xbox One, it was like half the fucking size.
Oh, well, at least we got the high spec one down Geek Retreat. That's cool.
Yeah.
What else have I been up to? Not as much. Would have. No, there've been a few school visits. They've been nice.
Noise.
Really excitable lately. I think they can sense when term time's on and off. And also there's been a bit more long distance training coming up because I've got my run of the May the 4th. That's been going well enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird training for it because I don't necessarily train to run because I know when it comes I will be dressed up in something heavy, so I won't be running. I'm mostly training speed walking, to be honest.
Just fast Hetty. Or as fast as Hetty could legally...
fast, yeah.
As fast as Hetty could legally go.
Well, can physically go. She's got a bloody great head.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've been adding to the everything goes into the monster manual. It's now sitting at... I've got 95 pages I'm looking at.
Wow.
Just I like having a reference for all the stuff I come up with. So yeah, that's it's never the same thing twice. Some of it's Harakir, some of it's that'd be a cool idea. And some of it's like I did this in a one shot one time and I just thought, well, let's not forget to put it in there somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, at some point I might do a similar compiling thing, and I might get one of those sort of like ring binders, with the little, and then some of those like folder sheets, so then I can print stuff off, and I can have an actual like my own custom homebrew book.
There's a thought. Yeah, that's been going on. I've been. It's quite handy to have every time I run the session. So if I need like a monster quick, I'm like, have a written one. Probably this will do.
Yeah.
Unlike Wizards of the Coast, I can format it myself. So I do it by type and then by CR and alphabetically. So it's really clear what I'm meant to be looking for.
Makes sense.
It says it's nice to have it on hand because I write a lot of what I'll do is, but if I'm not using something and I've written it, I'll email it to myself and then delete it off my actual laptop to save space.
Yeah, yeah. Then you
If
got
I'm
a
not using it, it's on
digital.
my email address. If I need it there, I'll just re-download
Yeah,
it.
who needs
Nobody's gonna find
cloud
them.
storage when you could just store a near enough infinite number of fucking emails?
Yeah,
Five
there's the
head
file limit
maneuver.
sizes, although you have to
Yeah.
do a lot of writing to get that. But yeah,
Yeah, I did that. I think I
um,
managed to do that a total of once for like some really like 20 to 30,000 word fucking JoJo fanfic I made ages ago. And it got to the point where it's like I can't send this to people anymore because it's too fucking big.
it's too big. Yeah, I'll just split it into different monster manuals if it gets to that point, and just say,
Yeah.
right, this one's full. Do a new one.
The Byzantian Guide to the Depths, the Byzantine exploration
No,
of Chult,
if it was that
etc.
specific, I would. But it's just a load of stuff I've written that I use and I like.
Fair enough.
It's for my reference more than anything else.
Hmm.
But it's hang on, so that shouldn't go there. Oh yeah, that's not as exciting a week as I've been hoping, to be honest. Because D&D wasn't on last night.
Oh
Someone was the
no.
DM was on a bender, so it didn't happen.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I mean, you just haven't said it. It's fine. So that's gonna be next week.
Hmm.
Yeah. Apart from that, not too much. Apart from a few extra books and stuff that I found cheap down Gwen's Fortune.
Awesome sauce.
That might be a good segue actually. What next?
That's actually a good question. What's your segue? Is it miniature
Yeah, because
related
usually we
or book
are
related?
book club, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Tell the book club. All right, sounds good. I wasn't sure you'd picked up a book or miniatures this time. I was like, which one have you done?
Both, but I
Okay.
went in for like because I was looking for something to get into Go to Archipelago, and
Ah.
I know for a fact that Wayland's Fort does really cheap miniatures in that range.
Hmm.
They're pretty good, they're not bad. But they have this thing now where they're selling away like secondhand books for a fiver, and they're all like a fiver,
Man.
regardless of the size. So I picked it up. Um, it's for a game that I've heard is kind of dead, but the Hordes. It's sort of like it's the sister product to War Machine, which I know have
Oh
got some stuff for
yes.
that.
Yee.
Yeah, it's like the fantasy version of that, and it's picked up for it would have been 40 quid. I picked it for five, and it's amazing. It's like how to describe this book? It's like it's the kind of book the Games Workshop would never put out now because it's got the core rules and most of all the units for all the core factions in it,
Mm-hmm.
and a painting guide in the back. This is like 380 odd pages of book. It is a chunky thing.
I, I,
Like
I I saw it and it's
again,
like
the
it's
art looks pretty.
hardback as well, and I'm like, I do love a good
Yes,
meaty hardback.
oh, I could probably hurt someone with this if I had to. It's handy because I haven't actually got around to painting them. I bought them yonks ago, but I bought like the skull in a box, and it's kind of like that. It's one of the factions I think that combines my love of the stuff I like now with the stuff I liked as a teenager. So it's quite good.
Uh,
I just want to actually paint them now because the faction's really cool in that it's very edgy fun.
mhm.
If that makes any sense, because their entire thing is they look like evil elves. They do a lot of conquering and they do a lot of enslaving of wild animals. And they have some really cool looking samurai esque armor going on. So it's like my teenage self loves the edgy bits, and I like the animals and weird monsters and bits. So it's kind of like a faction I wouldn't mind unironically playing if the game could possibly be arranged. If not, it's cool to have. But if we've
Mm.
got the starter stuff for it, and it looks pretty neat. I just checked the rules as well, and it's a 2d6 plus stat system,
Oh.
so it's quite accessible. Yeah, it's not an overly complicated game. Apart from there is like half inches, but again, you could measure that. That's about as weird as it gets. It's not a massively complicated game.
Mm.
But I think that's honestly quite a good thing because I like a simple, well-designed, elegant game rather than one with too many rules that can
Yeah.
bog down again, make people think it's boring. But again, let's say hypothetically, I never play a game in this, and I never even finish those minutes for some reason. The artwork's kind of cool.
Hmm.
It's it's I want to say it's 40k adjacent because everything's really glossy looking.
Uh-huh.
Like, sure, there's like they paint armor with some wear and tear, but it looks like slightly shiny. The background's usually quite dynamic. The artwork's really decent quality, and it's got this almost like World of Warcraft style to it, but all the weapons are slightly over large, but in a kind of like a cool way.
Yeah.
So I really rate these books. Now I think on it, I've never bought um, a War Machine or Hordes book for more than a fiver.
Hmm. Yeah, I think the
Because
books that
Bad
I
Kitty
bought were
used to
like
sell them.
£5, if that.
Yeah, yeah, because Bad Kitty used to sell them before they closed down. I've by dumb quirk, I've never paid more than a fiver for any of these at a time. They're just really decent. I mean, there's definitely more if an art book sometimes because the game apparently is dead. It's a bit of
Hmm.
a shame because I think it's quite a fun looking game. The miniatures look a bit great. I mean, the material's a bit like bit of soft material,
Yeah. I
but
think
the actual
the
game itself is fantastic.
I think the issue with like War Machine slash Hordes is that I didn't really see much advertising about it. Like they just kind of showed
Yeah, it's
up
a
in
good point.
stores and then I don't know, maybe they were
Yeah,
in like Miniatures Monthly magazine a few times, maybe, but I don't really read that magazine,
yeah.
so it's not like they had like TV adverts or whatever. I mean, I guess Warhammer doesn't either generally, but like Warhammer doesn't need
Well,
to.
they do now. They've got the CGI animation studio.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
But
It's
they're like the big dogs.
like Warhammer's advertisement is the entire universe around Warhammer, basically. Uh, Like it doesn't really need to openly advertise itself, I feel like. Whereas smaller things do. Like you don't really see an advert for D&D that much, to be honest, but you really
Not
probably
now,
would for
no.
like
You really
lesser,
don't.
smaller tabletop things. Because
Yes.
again, like certain game companies, whatever, just get that big where they don't really need to advertise anymore. Like you don't see advertisement for Monopoly anymore, really, aside from like the weird variants they
Do you
do.
need to advertise Monopoly? We all know Monopoly.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, to wrap it off because I could write on the art all day. Um, just as like a quick summary of like some of like just to set the tone of like this particular faction, the Scorn guys. Just I really like to set aside what makes them like some of their sort of archetype in one go. They have a unit called Pain Giver Beast Handlers, which do exactly what you think they do.
Oh.
Um, it's the best kind of edge, and I'm kind of all here for it.
Uh-huh.
And it also is a really fun unit, which is it's not particularly powerful, but it's just cool. It's just like spearmen riding like weird tiger things called Praetorian Ferox, and they're just kind of neat. Let's go trying some pictures of them. It's just like this faction just like took rule of cool and made it their entire thing. It's like we're evil, we wear cool armor, and that's kind of what we do now. And of course they have katanas because every edgy cool thing
Free
uh,
edgy, yeah.
has a 90% chance of having katanas, and I'm kind of all for it. Yes, I'd for a fiver absolutely chuffed with this book, and I would actually consider playing a game of this if such a thing were possible, because it's a really fun setting and it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Hmm. Coming soon to a skirmish report near you, maybe.
Or maybe I do have the official book. We could. It's a thing that's compatible with War Machine too.
Hmm.
So
I
same
could
rule set.
I could use my warjacks finally. I've got like a actual like
You
army of
absolutely
the
could.
I've got the Protector of Menoth army basically. I could field some boys.
Well, they're pretty neat. Well, of course, out of stock, the game's dead, but I'll show you. They're pretty neat looking guys. Yeah, and what have you found for this week?
So this is issue 21 of D&D Adventurer from the Hatchet Printworks thing.
Yeah,
And it starts off the bat really, really cool with the second part of dungeon maps, which is a guide on how to draw your own dungeon map. So use graph paper,
that's useful
makes
knowledge.
sense.
Yeah, I like that.
As for making wilderness maps, which is the previous part, you don't need to be a master cartographer, your map just need to be clean and legible. Draw an arrow to indicate north and add a scale, which makes sense. A map of 5-foot squares makes combat easier, which, yeah. Map of 10-foot squares makes it easier to fit the whole dungeon into a single page, though. So if you want to do it that way, if you're doing like bigger dungeons, do it 10-foot squares, which is an interesting concept. I never thought of it like that. Either way, make sure your rooms are big enough for the whole party and the rooms and monsters to maneuver in them. Yep. Corridors should be 10 foot wide, so characters at the back don't have to push through a queue to join the fight. Makes sense, unless you're doing that on purpose. See kobolds in general. Fucking bastards.
Yep.
How many rooms and levels do you want your dungeon to have? Your fallen published adventures should help with such details. An Elven Heroes 2 may consist of just 3 chambers. One abandoned dwarf hole should have dozens of rooms sprawling across several levels. Use your dungeon's theme to determine what important rooms to add. The catacombs or burial chambers, etc., etc. I won't go into the full details of this because it's, it's in the magazine, and it's cool though. And there's a few sort of like, okay, there's not sample maps, but there's like images of maps that they've done previously for other things, probably previously in the magazine, if I would assume, as guides of here's some examples of what you can do.
Does it have any links to or like name drop any sites for doing it for free or stuff? That would be kind of great.
Doesn't look like they do so, because the method they say is
Yeah,
very
fair enough.
pen and paper. But still, even to just say hey, use graph paper is still a decent idea.
No, that's fair. That's still pretty cool.
Reading the room furnitures. So talk about furniture as well. And describing the location.
Good.
Yeah, describing your locations in detail, which is good, but keeping it snappy. Don't go for 3 months to describing a single room. Be sure to identify any visible threats in the room early in the description.
That should be quite impressed if someone could do that for months.
They're talking about Chekhov's gun as well, which is pretty cool. Explaining how Chekhov's gun works, which is nice. The end game, all great sessions are satisfying, and thankfully there are ways to make sure players leave the table happy and looking for the next adventure. Yes, keep in mind what time you finish the session, how many scenes you have left in the encounter. Oh, good. This is I would say this is okay advice, because it's hard to gauge how long a set, because chatting and shit happens. Players will be players. So don't worry if things drag on and you wind up with an unsatisfying conclusion of session every once in a while, because hey, your players are going to be players and chat shit sometimes. But that's not what this says. It's look for opportunity to shorten or cut one of the preceding scenes. Perhaps the guards at the doors of the bosses room out for your hit points, making the fight go quicker. It's See, I personally actually have the opposite opinion of don't water down your sessions, because don't rush.
Yeah, you could just find a nice dramatic drop-off point and sort of call it there.
There's a bit of blurb on paladins, which is nice. Paladin features.
Very good.
The second level features. A little bit of blurb on cults, which is pretty pog.
Ooh, how deep does that go? Because that sounds like maybe into.
Well, there's 3 paragraphs, and then there's something called, they go to the Ashmadai, the Cult of the Dragon, which appears in quite a lot of different adventures, because
that's
Tiamat will be Tiamat. The Cults of Elemental Evil, and the Knights of the Black Sword. So there's a bit of detail in there. I'd imagine that there might be another time where they talk about this in another episode or issue, possibly later if it needs it. But it's cool there's a little bit of detail here. And then there's an encounter.
It sounds like a really good introduction.
Balance for second level. This is called Dancing with Devils. The beginning of a 2-part adventure. Plot of the Ashmedai. Ooh. So, begin morning with a clear day. The venture is approached by a young armored human who introduces herself as Riel Vanny, Squire of Sir Laniver Strail. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Suspected knight in the Order of the Gauntlet. Sir Laniver heard a great deal of adventures and
Oh,
compliments and personally wants to commend
one
them
of
for their
those.
work, as
Nice.
well as ask for their aid on a delicate and urgent matter. Wants to come in a part of the Hall of Justice. Ooh, interesting. Let's see. And there's some blurb about, and there's some. The adventure goes on. I won't spoil anything here, but there's a stat thing for bearded devil, possessed cultist, and infernal fanatic. Again, I don't know if those other two are in any books, but still kind of cool to have as a short list. And then we actually have a character sheet at the back for Oshug Bakok and Orc Paladin, second level, which is quite useful.
That's appropriate. They're talking about that on magazine.
Yeah, so it's cool to get these little like bonus pre-con character sheets every once in a while because they are useful in a pinch, or if you wanted to use them as an NPC.
Oh, God, that's all. Okay.
But yeah, so that was issue
Right.
21, just a short and sweet summary of it. Not bad, honestly. And of course, it came with some dice,
Sounds
which
like
was
it's
like,
one of the better things they've produced in the last few years.
yeah, I want to try and get more of these. I want to go back and try and get some of the back issues, but they're a little bit annoying to get some of the back issues because like 1 and 2 are like not available bloody well anywhere. I might have to get them from the. I might actually have to order them from the bloody website. Anyway, moving on. Skirmish report of the
Yes.
week. Do you have anything for us?
Um, yeah, I would like to say yes, but not this week. Suppose if I've been playing much of anything, it's what I've been getting back into Final Fantasy 2 again. Because remember that being good on the
Mm-hmm.
PSP. So I've got I found a legal version of that through some very nice ROM site.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's been nice because it's a game I can play with half my brain off.
Mm.
It's quite good. It's one of the really simple Final Fantasies, but I love the what makes it so good is the actual level up system, aka there isn't one.
What?
It's just right. I'll explain. So your stats and HP is set at like starts at 20 and like 5 MP or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you take damage, you have a better chance of your hit points just going up.
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah, I get
So
it there.
you get stat bonuses on the fly. If you use spells a lot, your MP is more likely to go up. You can level up every single spell. So rather than having to buy like fire, then fire 2 or whatever, you just get fire and you just use it and level it up.
Yeah, that does make sense.
I think it's a really elegant way of doing it. Although you'd have to use some spells that are really useless at the start because the level 1. So that is the weird downside to it.
Mm.
I don't mind it. I think it works. Um, easy to lose like time as well when you're doing it. It's just kind of a
Yeah,
fun
it's like
game to
you
play.
start playing an RPG. I've been doing this with Skyrim lately because I started a new modded run where and it was like Keyblade only because I have the mod for Keyblades, so I can't use any weapon that's not a Keyblade, which they're surprisingly balanced, by the way. Um, but you can
What?
only craft them at the Skyforge, so you have to haul your fucking materials, some of which are quite weird, like fire salts, up to the Skyforge to craft them. They don't have any like special effects. They're just like the different designs of keyblades, but some of them are like slightly stronger than others, and you need different tiers of smithing to make them. And I remember like spending a few hours in there, turning around and thinking, "Wait a minute, it's fucking 10 p.m. What the heck?"
I'm doing with myself.
uh,
But
but
yeah, I've been replaying that. I've got. Oh, also, I might have told you. If I did, and I apologize, I've repeated myself. Do you remember I told you about that weird caveman game, Tale of the Sun?
Yes. Yes.
It works. I
Woohoo!
found a working version of the sun hunting, and it is nigh on impenetrable. I do not get how you advance in it.
Amazing.
And the worst part is, I went looking online. Like, surely in this day and age, people know about this, like the
Is
Spice
there a
World
guide
game.
for this?
Surely,
No. No.
no, there is not. It's a cool game, but I don't know. I actually don't know how to play it.
You've got to
It's fun.
like
It's a
you got to
fun game.
evolve and learn like early man himself. I guess you just got to learn by
You can do it
dying a
all
lot. Like
completely blind.
yeah, like I guess that's how
Yeah,
like
but
early
you only
man.
start with like four people in your tribe. You need to actually advance the tribe to get more. I know I haven't figured out any of that yet, so that's fun.
The Dark Souls of civilization games.
It might actually be. It just literally drops you into the world, and that's figure it out.
No tutorial allowed, idiot. Read the game's manual. What
If you're a
manual?
caveman, go. That's kind of how it is. I do like it, but I need to figure out actually how to play it, as it turns out. Dear.
So, I guess I want to talk about like in Skirmish Report stuff. So we got WWE 2K20 installed,
We did, don't we?
and we of course
We did a match.
yeah, the first thing we did was create custom superstars, obviously.
Best part of the game.
So you made what was it? You made Stankass.
Right.
The
So I think me and Nathan are going to be like designing some like actual team stuff. By the sound of it, the gears are spinning, man. We are going to insert the. This will make no sense to anyone that doesn't know about Mutant League, which is most of the world. But there was a
so
character our friends
far.
made that was just called Swamp Ass. He was a big green man. He was absurdly tough. Me and Nathan are making the Sons of Swamp Ass.
Stank, and what was the other one?
It's gonna be Hoober. Nathan, I'm thinking of Hoober Stank, I guess. So one is Hoob, one is Stank.
Yeah.
I made Stank. Stank is like the slightly gangly, tall one, like the big man of the team.
Talking of
And Hoob's going to be like the little.
I found out because I've been playing. So I was going to get into this later, but I've been playing the career mode as well. I found an ability that Stank Ass absolutely fucking needs. It's called Poison Mist.
Poison Mist?
Yeah, so it's a dirty, illegal ability thing. Not a move, an ability that you can use like once per match. And it's just called Poison Mist. You blow Poison Mist at someone. It's like, what the fuck? I'm going to assume that some like wrestler at some point did this and it became like a thing. But like the idea is an ability in a fucking wrestling game called Poison Mist. It's like, huh? So so we have Stank and Uber. It's like Hoober. Our other friend made a guy called Mad Midget, which is I don't know, he kind of like a weird cross between like weird cross between Wee Man, I guess Peter Dinklage a little bit, kind of looks a bit Peter Dinklagey, and I want to say like Kurt Cobain almost, kind of like Kurt Cobain-y. It looks a little edgy, like slightly Nickelbacky as well, a bit weird, but pretty cool actually, pretty funny. And then we also have Default. Obviously, we had to make Default, which is just the default options on everything. And his name is just Default. But there's a whole like in our like little thing. We were gonna stream this at some point. So we still might get a memory card for like.
Don't forget, he has 4 different pairs of trunks now, so he's not that default anymore.
Yeah. It's fine, but yeah. The idea was we made a character with all the default settings in 2008 one, just because we thought it'd be funny. And now we of course had to do it again because this guy has a character arc now. We gave him a whole character arc and everything.
He actually was champion.
Yeah,
So,
he was the champion of the previous Mutant League, so he's got to get his belt for Mutant League GX. And he'll be going against such greats as Carl Pilkington, who I did he's got his own entrance now, his own entrance animation, and his own move set now. A lot of which is punching, because I headcanon the joke that like Carl misunderstood the assignment and thought it was a boxing tournament. It's like, oh yeah, I got those like boxing moves and stuff. But one of his signatures is eye poke. I found eye poke. It's a signature.
Did you get nothing but?
yeah, his only signature. No, I think he's got like a headbutt. He also does some headbutting stuff because his like big head energy is like his head power and toughness is the highest.
To use, I guess.
Yeah. I've got to actually use one of his like abilities that's actually decent. Because I put the rest relatively low because he's not a wrestler, he's a comedian. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some more designs before next session of that. Because, yes. Oh, I also designed the belt for Mutant League GX. It's green and brown.
Oh.
I turned the... So on one of the side plates, I turned the WWE logo upside down, so it's an M. So I could just design my own M, or I could just turn a W into an M. And also the show as well. I've designed the show for.
Do you know what? Don't even tell me any more about it. I want to actually see it.
Yes, you will experience it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
But we need to sort out like the other custom movesets, though.
Yes, I'm not gonna touch anyone else's custom movesets, especially not defaults, because defaults should use the default moveset.
I know, he is sacred, did not change his.
Yeah, I've also unlocked all of the other arenas. So there's a few arenas that you buy with like in-game currency. I've unlocked all of those. And I think I've unlocked a few superstars as well. I think I got Batista and The Rock because funny. Nice. Those are like the only superstars I actually care about. Because of things that aren't their wrestling history.
That's true. That's John Cena. He's done plenty of like funny.
Yeah, I think John Cena's in it by default anyway. I guess The Rock slightly because of the "it doesn't matter" meme. His famous catchphrase. But mostly, can we smell what he's cooking? Which is also, I think, his really just wrestling career, I guess. But he was in a lot of like movies as well, wasn't he? The Rock. Isn't he like?
Yes, he was in The Mummy too.
yeah. That's what I was thinking of actually. It's like he was in like some Egypt movie, right? So yes, I'm going to be doing some
terrible CGI Scorpion Man.
Yeah, I'm going to do some more of the campaign to level up. So I made Phoenix because the career mode makes you make a female superstar and a male superstar because of all the different events. Because no mixed gender wrestling, which is fine. So I made Phoenix my OC character, and of course, the new version of Gian Cena. Mr. China himself. I don't know. Maybe he comes up in the custom superstar list now as well, which would be very funny, as he's going to be a superstar that's just going to get better with time as I unlock more abilities. He might just be broken by the end of it. It should be insanely funny.
If his stats go up, then yeah, because the others are all rookies.
Well, the others, because like, custom superstar allows you to make your superstars as strong or as weak as you want, but career mode obviously starts you off at like, I think 59 for a female superstar and 61 for a male superstar. These points matter somewhere. WWE nerds are probably like, I know exactly what that means. But I don't, so...
Okay.
But yeah, so eventually, like, John Cena might actually be able to beat even Carl Pilkington, who I think is, like, currently 80 points somehow. That good. Yeah, but he's like, currently rated 80 at the moment, which is, like, he's the lowest, by the way,
I like how you're measuring... like wrestlers compared to Carl Pilkington.
Carl Pilkington is the baseline. If you can't beat Carl Pilkington, what kind of a wrestler are you?
He should just quit at that point.
Anyway. So that was my skirmish report of the week. Mutant League GX. I'm looking forward to this. I'm glad I bought it. Was £6.
So am I now.
Which is like,
I want to see
that
this.
is
I
a
want
bargain.
I want to see this arena.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Well, it's the show I've designed, but I'm going to design the arena as well for Mutant League GX, because you can make custom arenas as well. I don't know what that entails, but I'm looking forward to finding out. So, next section, our homebrew of the week.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's go down the list. I've been busy with it. Now I remembered. I have been watching a lot of videos. By I think the Charles Monster of the Week. He's given me some ideas to actually do something somewhat traditional and just make a cool dragon thing.
Nice.
I made a cool dragon thing. Started from Wormling. I didn't do all of them because I wanted to flesh my stuff out. Right. Search for it. So I call it the Noxious Dragon because I like dragons that aren't necessarily not limited to the color or the metal and stuff. I like it to have like a certain aesthetic, pretty much Monster Hunter. So I like to have a bit of a natural basis for my dragons. Noxious dragons are sort of okay. They're sort of like adjacent from black dragons in that they have acid breath, but it's like a really sticky acid breath. They have like sort of longer necks and sort of like a weird cobra-like frill, so they're kind of snaky in general, to be honest. Apart from that, they've got legs, but they're quite snaky. They're quite good. Give them a climb speed, so you got something a little different to them. Reasons about them, they are sort of there's some variation, but they're usually sort of like red and black stripes and or patterns. Sort of like classic danger warning colors. Like, don't touch me, I'm venomous. What else is there? They sort of share terrain with black dragons. Often get in fights with black dragons, but where they differ is that, like, black dragons are often classically very evil and kind of enjoy it so much that they'll play with their food. Noxious dragons do like they're sort of like the Redditor of the dragon world in that they think they're very clever. They are fairly clever, but they think they're very clever and don't do anything that they see as inefficient or frivolous. So they are like they're definitely openly evil. They just don't behave in a petty way as they would define it, like a black dragon might.
Yeah.
So they are like, often appear to be quite elusive, but they just choose to pick their fights a bit more carefully. As for the breath weapon, actually is so it's a big 30-foot stream of acid by 5 foot. It's a big whole line. But what the difference is, I like the split damage type, so it does 2d4, 2d10, sorry, acid, and 2d10 fire.
Ooh.
It burns.
That's like napalm almost, like bruh.
Well, the fun about it, it's got a few effects on it. It's got a called linger. So basically, it leaves a trail.
This dragon is not allowed anywhere near Vietnam.
No, probably not. No, it basically the breath weapon leaves a trail as long as the breath weapon.
Ooh, so it's like a lingering.
Any creature, yeah, because it's basically like a stream of very sticky, acidic stuff. So if you touch it, you take 1d6 acid damage, and it slows you down, and it just halves your movement speed. But it's sticky to move through, not fun. Also, if you have touched it and it's on you, you take 1d4 acid damage at the start of every round.
Makes sense.
You need to make a strength save to remove it. as an action.
Just like grab it and off of yourself. Just yeah, you gotta like pry
Yeah,
it
you really
off.
have to like strain to get it off you, and it lasts for 1 minute otherwise. But also, the secondary abilities are like dragons with 2 recharge abilities.
Hmm.
Noxious Cloud, 10-foot radius, just a flat 2d6 acid. It has a chance of blinding things. It's a DC 13 con save. Blind for next minute. Then my logic was they're all about smelly, nasty chemicals. This is kind of their gimmick. Um, so like when something smells so foul and chemically, it's difficult to even see straight.
Yes. Yeah.
I took that to its logical conclusion and said, "Yep, it's just a radius thing." Also good for because, like, especially if you run a dragon solo, it's easy to get it surrounded.
Mm.
So yeah, just thought it'd be good to do that. Uh, the other thing is a recharge blind slow. Yeah, both. So the Noxious Cloud and its breath weapon both. So basically, it can't use both in the same recharge action. It has to recharge once it's used. It has to recharge one of them.
Mm.
So it's not completely overpowered. You know, it's a dragon, but it's not like
Yeah.
it can choose to use either the cloud or the breath weapon, and then it has to recharge and use another one.
That that works for me.
Yep. Obviously resistant to acid and poison, immune to frightened and poisoned. Pretty basic stuff. You think I'd use it on every dragon I've ever written.
Yeah, I'd find it
Because it's
very
just,
hard to believe that a dragon could possibly be frightened of anything.
especially poisoned as well. The thing isn't acid, but it
Yeah.
doesn't care about poison. Also, a strong climate, just like a passive ability. Thought was neat. Um, if it has advantage on save to resist falling, if it's climbing on a thing or standing on a thing that's about to fall.
Makes sense.
Basically, they're just really good climbers. As for senses, they got an extra sense. They got the dark vision. They got 40 feet blind sight. They spend a lot of time in the dark. Um, if I age them up, that's only going to get bigger as all the damage and all that.
Yeah.
So I went with a bit of a straightforward monster this week, but I don't do much in the way of straightforward dragons, and I want to have some fun with it,
Fair dues.
despite and avoid making just another dragon with a breath weapon, and it does the hurty damage.
Mm.
I think what I've ended up with by accident is the hurty acid dragon, is what it effectively plays like. Yeah, what are
Still.
you up for this week?
So I won't go into too much detail. I've got 6, but they're very similar. So first of all, I finished off the spell bombs that we talked about over the past few weeks.
Oh, yes.
So these are the Flight Spell Bomb and the Nihil Spell Bomb. Nihil. I don't know what
Right.
that actually word means, but so the Nihil Spell Bomb, it's an improvised weapon that a target creature could see. On a hit, that creature can't recover spell slots until a long rest. That seems like a really niche thing, and it is, but that does actually matter sometimes. Obviously, as you know, certain casters have abilities where they can regain spell slots outside of long rests. There are items that can do that, so it's not a useless ability.
Right.
The other one, however, Flight Spell Bomb might actually be, on the other hand, the most useful one here, because upon throwing it, roll improvised weapon at a target creature you could see. On a hit, that creature gains a 40-foot fly speed for 1 minute. So you can give things temporary flight, which is helpful.
Sounds okay.
So yeah, those are the spell bombs. Obviously, the other blur for the rest of the spell bombs applies here. The potential gaining of spells to their spell list at random if you spend a level 1 or higher spell slot to do that. And then I finished off the. Do you remember the Trigon I was talking about a while ago? The Trigon of Rage. I did. That was quite a while back.
Yes, I vaguely remember it.
I've also finished that cycle because that's also a cycle of 5. Because Magic does that a lot. They have something that's one of 5 colors, and they go, "Oh, we'll make one of each color or one related to each color." So we've got the Trigon of Infestation. So again, you can pump. It comes with 1 to 3 charges on a D3. Spend a level 2 or higher spell slot to give the item another charge. As a bonus action, a creature may use one charge of this Trigon to summon an insect beast of their choosing of CR half or lower that is loyal to them, summon less for an hour. So that's the infestation one, makes bugs basically. Corruption reduces the max hit points of things. So your standard thing of you could pour charge counters into it, or you can use a charge counter to give your next attack. I think it was 1d4. Sorry, where is it? I've got the wrong one open. There we go. Oh, beans. Have I made this blinking mistake here? I think I have. Yep. I think I might have made a bloody error here. So it's, yeah, I've made a mistake because I've saved over it, but I remember it was, so on your next attack, the attack also reduces the hit creature's maximum hit points by 1d4 plus 1. It doesn't do any damage, but it reduces their max hit points. Which, again, can be useful against healing enemies. Then we have the Trigon Amending is very basic. It just uses its charge counters to heal 1d4 hit points for its user. That's it. But even so, it's kind of a refillable health potion, so cool. And then the Trigon of Thought. User may use a charge within it to temporarily add one spell at round of their class spell list, the list of prepared spells. This lasts in the next dawn. This is partly why I waited until I did the spell bombs to do it, as this effect is basically the same, but not quite. And also I didn't have the cards for it at the time. So yeah, Trigons. They are little things that have magic in them, that you can pour magic into them, and they have different effects, but you've got to use spell slots to do it, basically. And the effects are not amazing for the spell slots you're otherwise using, but could be useful in a pinch, especially if you charge them up. Remember to charge them up using your last spell slots before you rest. So yeah, those are that's my Umbra of the week. I'll put them up sooner rather than later. Just more stuff for the compendium of Mirren objects.
Okay, that sounds situational but useful. Quite like the sound of that.
Well, I think that's a lot of what's gonna be in like the Mirrodin stuff of like situational but usable objects for like lower level stuff. Because you don't want to give people like powerful general use stuff early on. I feel like you want to give someone something that's maybe useful in this one situation. So when the situation is brought forth to them, the player's like, aha! I have this item that works in this exact situation. Yes, I feel cool now. Or something like that.
I can see it.
And yeah, and again, I'm working through Mirrodin stuff, so I'm like, it feels good to have like a big pile of done stuff now. Do we have critical fumbles this week?
Yeah, I got one.
Go ahead.
This one's good on for last few weeks, well, last week or so actually.
Oh no.
So basically, I found like just around the house, I found like tin full of old pennies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Okay, I'll use them. Never like just get stuff for errands. I'll use this down the road. Last 3 times, like I've tried to use them, they've always clogged up the machine. I have to get some attendant over. It's kind of embarrassing, which is just not fun. I only really resolved it today because I had to go all the way down to like there's a Tesco like 1.7 miles away.
Oh no.
So I had to go that far because I thought, right, just get it in like big change. Otherwise, I'll be there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Putting in 1p's and 2p's. So that got resolved, finally.
Yeesh. I love when that happens. Having to go to a Tesco, just in general.
Just for a Coinstar machine, yeah.
Bro.
That was fun. Oh, there's another one. This one's Disney related on a more
Oh?
professional note. So, obviously, it's been coming a while now, but Snow White, the new one, is coming out.
Uh-huh.
And so, from what I hear, they're not doing a big UK premiere
Why the fuck not? They just can't afford it.
because because Rachel Ziegler keeps saying things she shouldn't be from a PR perspective. And I think someone at Disney said, right, we're going to give you the softball easy questions and don't say anything too stupid, is that from what it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
So they just cancelled the most of the UK premiere tour, which is honestly, I think, quite sound from a PR perspective.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this idiot, can't be trusted
Yeah,
to not say some wild,
say anything
stupid
stupid.
shit. Let's just cancel
Yeah,
half of the tour. That is reasonable. It's all right.
yeah, yeah. It's worth mentioning Gal Gadot answering any and all. So they're trusting Gal Gadot to not mess it up. Because, I suppose for Hollywood, she's old, I guess. No, she's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but by Hollywood standards, she's kind of pushing it. Let's
Yes,
like
exactly
no
what I mean.
offense to her because it maybe the problem is the Hollywood standards. Just saying.
Yeah, it
Um,
definitely is. She's
yeah,
great. She's a professional about this kind of stuff.
yeah, but yeah, it's like, huh?
A co-star apparently not playing by the same set of rules for reasons we no one really understands. Hmm.
Typical Hollywood actors and actresses. Some of them are
Yep.
just like, yeah, I'm gonna just be controversial for basically no reason.
She like I think she forgot she was in Snow White, not War and Peace. Uh,
Hmm.
I mean, like, I'm not a massive Disney fan, but you got to think, right? This is a serious movie for me, but this is still like, Snow White.
Yeah, like it's not that deep.
Some perspective on this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not like Snow White is like an allegory or a message. Or actually, to be
Yeah.
some librarian or historian is gonna enter the comments of this podcast and be like, "Well, actually, the movie is a commentary on this, and the original book slash fairy tales is based on actually has this message behind it." And you're absolutely fucking right. But do you think that Disney cares? Let least steal the
Oh,
general audience of the movie. No one's watching Disney movies because they want some like deep spiritual or personal message out of it. They want to have some
yeah,
takeaway.
it's not
They're
a yeah.
watching it because it's entertaining, and probably because their kids are
They
watching it.
want a fairy tale, especially
Yeah,
with like Snow White.
yeah.
That's the appeal. So Disney doing a good PR move there, which is Chase.
A,
I mean,
a,
bad for Rachel Ziegler. I mean,
a rare Disney
if I was
W.
her, I'd be worried about getting a future gigs in Hollywood because she's burned a lot of bridges on this one movie.
Yeah,
Other films haven't gone down well.
yeah. Who knows? It's just fucking. Why can't people
We'll
just
find
be
out when the
normal?
film releases.
Yeah, that's true. So, what I've got this week is guess who's back? Back again.
Oh, Wizard's back.
Wizards back again. This is kind of a small continuation of a previous fumble. So they have confirmed that the pricing for the Final Fantasy stuff, the ridiculous pricing, it's like I think it's
Mhm.
like over $1,000 for all four collective versions of the decks.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, it's like what the fuck.
Jesus.
That's like the most egregious bit, and then some of the boxes are more expensive, things like that. They confirmed that's going to be the pricing going forward for like all Universes Beyond stuff.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's a lot.
So rather than looking at the controversy and people being like, "Whoa, this is too fun expensive," Wizards decided to double down. They're like, no, no, this is expensive enough. Fuck you. Like, this was your
Hmm.
opportunity, Wizards, to be like, oh, no, no, those won't be as expensive as that. It's just because, the license fee for Square Enix is that expensive. You could have bullshitted your way out of it and backpedaled a little bit. But no, 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 decided to double down. I guess we'll see what happens when the set actually releases and whether people don't buy
If
it or
people
not.
can, if 4 people are going to be able to
Yeah,
afford
because it is kind of like,
the full
okay,
set.
oh, but like I get the fucking Lord of the Rings one like best selling set of all time, basically. I think something like that. It was like sold really, really, really well. But and it might be like, oh, but people will pay, people will buy stuff. There's a difference between like how much of a fanboy of Magic the Gathering / Wizard of the Coast someone is, and how much somebody can actually fucking afford. It's not just a case of, oh, I'm gonna boycott this. It might be a case of I literally cannot afford this product. That's when it gets to the point beyond like boycott levels. It's like, yeah, people cannot even afford this product. The fuck, bro. Sheesh. So it's a brief critical fumble addendum, but still like a really. Where's the coast added again?
They seem they're good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? We're on to closing thoughts.
Yes, so I would also like to have a brief little bit on what was I gonna say? Yes, a miniature of the month related stuff. I'm gonna do a little brief miniature of the monthy thing. What's on your painting
I can do
table
that.
for this month?
Oh, there is. I have mentioned something. I'll just leave it to the tail end of this because it won't take long. But
Mhm.
yes, miniature of the month. What I've been painting, Nate. I've been working on. Um, it's an old Lord of the Rings bit because
Mhm.
of for the D&D game we've been using proxies. Uh, but I went through my collection of Lord of the Rings elves because when in doubt, I play an elf. I just find it easy,
Nice.
and I found a really nice one. I think he's I want to say it's a 2006 era one.
Mhm.
Uh, it's kind of it's one very typical looking elf. Not my paint job, but this is just the pose. It's pretty classic. Drop it in. There we go. There he is.
Heh. Let me have a look real quick. Oh, yee! Look at that guy. Wow, that's a classic looking job though.
Yeah, he's that is an elf. He's been on my list to do. He's been sitting in a box since forever. But no, I quite like this guy. I remember his rules were horrendous as well because he has like Lord of the Rings average fights 3. His is 7. He's just a really really good piece. On top of all the fact his pose is just kind of neat. That's been painting. We're getting through. I got another orc boy done.
Nice.
Just the chopper lad, nothing too special. But I haven't been doing that much painting this week. I'll be honest. What about you?
So I haven't painted anything, but I've been looking through my like collection of stuff. And do you remember like ages and ages ago I picked up though that set of things that was the sorry, my brain is braining. The flippin' Ravnica miniatures. These are the pre-painted. I don't know
Oh
which
yes,
company
yeah,
made them. I think it might have been Ultra Pro. The Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica miniatures. I think it's set 2, which has the Azorius Paladin, the Orzhov Cleric, the Gruul Goblin, the Rakdos
yeah.
person, and the other one. I really like particularly the Orzhov cleric, because like generally in fiction, it's like clerics are the good guys. The Orzhov very much are not. They are the mafia,
And,
and I just love the
well,
black and white and gold color
depends on the
scheme here.
god.
Yeah. Well, the
Fair enough.
Orzhov seem to
It's
worship money, basically. It's a little
all
weird.
right.
I think,
I'm following you.
yeah, I think that because they have like their five spirit council boys, and they're called the Obsidat, who are like the leaders of that guild, and their whole thing is like tithing. It's effectively it's kind of like a scam church, honestly. I guess it's like a commentary on mega churches, probably in America. And yeah, but like their designs are really cool, and the miniatures provided here I think is really really apt because you can use it as a character, and it's just the way that the black, white, and gold just really pops because the gold isn't like too obtrusive. It's just a little bit of gold, like I guess, what do you call it? Outlining and stuff, and the symbology, the headdress and stuff. This is why I like pre-painted miniatures sometimes because they are just like they are. There is a quality to these that I really do like. Especially for like for specific things like Ravnica stuff where
Oh, sorry, there we are. Sorry.
you just you don't you might paint them differently, but you're probably not going to if you're going to use them in Ravnica games, basically. But yeah, I need to go through all of this like miniature stuff in here because I've got a lot of like miniatures and small toys that I use as miniatures. Like I got a bunch of like bootleg Pokemon stuff in here for when I was going to do a Pokemon campaign. I've got a really teeny tiny Dark Magician that I got from a gacha machine. I've got barrels that were 3D printed. I've got a tiny chibi Cloud talking of Final Fantasy stuff. I've got an official little Gatomon miniature that I was gonna like, just in case I ever do any weird stuff like flipping Digimon or whatever. If I ever did like a third party thing like that, I've got some of the McDonald's toys from Pokemon as well in here. Because again, some of them are the right scale, like the legendaries are fucking massive. Because of course they are. I've got a random crab. Because I thought it was funny, I bought it at a car boot sale. And it's like some of the Ravnica random miniatures in here somewhere. So I bought the blind box that has a few miniatures in it.
Yeah.
That Wizards I say Wizards. Groups affiliated with Wizards tend to make. I think it's Ultra Pro or whatever the fuck. I've also got the Coca-Cola Sephiroth in here, which is quite funny. Yeah, the Coca-Cola did a Final Fantasy like promo thing where you get like little standee figures in them, and I got the Sephiroth one, which is just about maybe slightly bigger than miniature scale, but just about the right size. A few like
I know what I mean.
A few classic plastic dinosaurs because again they're useful chult. Here we go. Yeah, just a bunch of stuff in there. I need to sort this out. Anyway, that's my miniature of the month. It's a basic thing, but we'll look more into this pile later. Yeah, there's Indentured Spirit as well, which is another Orzhov one from the blind box, the Indentured Spirit, which again looks really cool. I like the Orzhov stuff because they're like, that's what when I played Magic when I first got into it. That's the guild I built a deck on because I bought the structure deck, and I just love their like. I love their facade like vibe of being like looking good and being pious and priestly when actually they are just a mafia, include bruisers and all that go to your house and be like, "Oi, shut up, you! Give us money, pay your fucking debts, asshole."
Be
anyway,
the church.
Yeah. So
fair enough.
That's I think gonna be it for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode.
There is one other thing I did want to mention.
Oh, go ahead.
This will take a minute. So lately, I've been trying to sleep better.
Uh-huh.
So what I've been doing is I've been honest to God, some stuff I put into doing like a dream diary.
Ooh, nice.
There are some absolute like going on. I've only got 5 entries because it's not every night. Okay, so we got one. Most of my nightmares. One's kind of basic. So, wandering aimlessly in a one-floor hotel, looked like a resort slash student dorm.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's people arguing about domestic things. I broke something. Then I woke up in the dream. And then I, for some reason, thought I knew there's going to be a weird crow woman, and I was going to have to stab it. And then I woke up. That was normal.
Well, okay.
This one was titled, yeah, nightmare stuff. This one, I don't know what I called it. Walruses or Us. I gave them titles. This is really short. There was a website like Compare the Meerkat, but for human walrus hybrids. It was photorealistic.
That is so weird.
And then this one, this one that I don't remember any of it. I just remember a quote. I was reading the quote in my dream. It's just the quote says, "That's it. You've had enough horses."
You know,
no context.
It's possible to have enough horses, obviously.
Yeah, apparently it is.
One thing I do want to mention, you said like waking up in the dream. I've had that kind. It feels fucking weird when that happens, especially if you're like vaguely aware of it. It's like, wait a minute, I woke up and I'm still dreaming.
Yeah, I was aware at the time too.
I've had it before, where I've had like wake upception, where I've woken up in a dream, had another like dream moment, woken up in a dream again. I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I'm like, how many dreams deep was I?
How deep in are you?
It's just like, I've woken up 4 times and I'm still asleep. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was like a very nightmare kind of thing. Like you knew something. You knew it. For some reason, I knew something bad was about to happen, and for some reason, my brain said, "You gotta go stab this thing." For some reason, I had a weird triangle knife. It was very odd.
Very strange. It is
I
I
actually want to keep track of this.
Yeah, it is also kind of scary.
I want to learn how to lucid dream.
When you're
it was definitely
aware, when you're aware enough that you're in a dream, but not aware enough that you could wake yourself up. That's a very weird state to be in. Like, oh, how do I get out? So you try to wake up and then wake up into another dream. Like, for fuck's sake, I've had that happen before. It's like, huh? I haven't had to stab
I want to keep track of it because I want to eventually end up.
Yeah, I haven't had to stab.
I want to end up lucid dreaming.
Yeah,
is the end goal. That's apparently really hard to do. So if I keep at it, eventually I might trick my brain into being able to do that. I was inspired by Vinny, because he did like a dream journal and they got really funny and stupid and bizarre.
So
that's all.
So
you've all had enough. You've all had enough of horses. Too many horses.
Too many horses.
Apparently.
And on that neighing note, that's a terrible segue. It's time to end this episode of the Byzantian Brews cast.
Around everyone.
Don't remember to have some sweet dreams and don't have too many horses. Don't have a cow, man.
Yep.
There is no bathroom. I don't know where
you can have as many cows as you want.
Yeah. Don't have a cow, man. Have many cows, I guess. Don't covet your neighbor's cow, though.
Don't covet it. You can have it, but don't like it.
Yeah, don't covet. Ruling? Don't covet any cows. And we'll raid out. Who should we raid? Do you know what? We'll raid Kinia. Kinia's playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That makes sense. We literally talk about Final Fantasy. So, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff on the YouTubes. You can catch us live on twitch.tv/CodeXZack. And we'll see you guys next time for another episode of the Byzantian Brews Cast with your hosts, Chaotic Jacksack.
Bye. And me, Byzantian Dev.
Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye for now. With your kisses from the goose, if you want them. You're not obligated to have kisses with the goose. You don't want them. Lol. See you guys in the next one.